Man, what nobody got to say about me? I done did that. Just two steps I might had to pray by. Try me, then it's anybody getting that. Seem like everybody want to catch a body to hit the studio and rap about it. You got a future. They don't want to sabotage you. Go to prison. Bet you they gonna laugh about it. Yeah. Nah, when nobody got to say bye. Me? I done did that. Okay. I think we might take it easy today. I don't know if I'm gonna do 10 chapters today. I'm kind of tired. Good morning, sir. You look like you're feeling better. When was I feeling bad? What do you mean I look like I'm feeling better? I felt great yesterday. When was I feeling bad? I was sick like 2 weeks ago. Ugh. I'm actually tired today. I'm probably not going to do 10 chapters today. I'm probably going to maybe do, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm sleepy. I feel fine. I'm just feel sleepy. You know? Hello, re-examination. You were sick all weekend? Nuh-uh. That last weekend, not this weekend. Was I? No, that was last weekend. No, I felt fine this weekend. What you talking about? That was the previous weekend because I took off work on Monday, and I didn't even stream. I just took off work and slept. That was like 2 weeks ago. That wasn't even the weekend before this past weekend. That was the previous weekend. That was like 3 weeks ago. Don't tell me what I felt, okay? I can look it up. Hey, Auntie, I liked Hola Hola. You so sick in the cool way. Don't wink at me. Don't be winking at me, Gowdy. Rowdy Gowdy. Auntie, all that news you sent me for my Monday night show, I didn't see it till after my Monday night show. But that was good. That was good news content that totally none of that showed up on my algorithm. So you got a different algorithm than me if you're finding stuff like that. I didn't see any of that stuff. So send me more stuff like that, but you got to send it, and don't send it one at a time because I'm not going to be able to save it all. Send it in one big chunk like you did last time, but send it Sunday night. It's got to be Sunday night because I put the show together on Monday morning, and then I do it on Monday night. But yeah, all that stuff, none of that stuff showed up in any of my algorithms where I get my news. I was like, what? What is all this? If you get more interesting news like that, send it my way. Anyway, oh, so happy Lent to anybody who does Lent. Orthodox do Lent, right? Catholics do Lent, Orthodox do Lent. I'm not either, but you know what? I like the idea of it. I think I'm going to try. So, well, it started Wednesday was Ash Wednesday. Yesterday was Ash Wednesday, and I didn't even realize it. I realized it last night when I went into work. One of the security guards at my work had the big ash cross on his forehead. And I was like, it must be Ash Wednesday. And then I realized, oh yeah, Easter's coming up. It's Lent. So some Protestants do Lent. Well, I think I'm going to try to honor it. Now, the fasting, isn't it okay if I don't just instantly start fast? So okay, I'm gonna let y'all in on this isn't a secret, but It's not really Bible study related, more about like my life, but I usually drink 2 tall boys every day of beer, 2 25-ounce cans of beer every day. Um, then on the weekends, I drink a lot of beer. So, and I'm getting fat. Like I go to the gym a lot. You know, I'm getting big too, but I'm also getting fat because I've been drinking more and more beer um on the weekends. So, this is gross. I'm picking stuff out of my ear. Um uh so last or yesterday, I only drank one tall boy. And I'm not going to try. Do or do not. There is no try. Trying is uh trying is um preparing for failure. Trying is doing with the expectation of failure. You either do or you do not. You either do it or you don't do it. There is no try. 'Cause if you try and you fail, then you just failed. And if you do it, then you just do it. Trying just means you think you might fail. So we're not going to try. We're going to do for at least, for a little while, just so I can slowly uh I'm not like a cold turkey type of guy. But I'm just going to do one tall boy a day for like a week or two. And then go down to 0 a day. Now, I'll still probably be drinking beer on the weekend, but I'm going to try to reduce that too. Um, the problem is the gas station that I go to, they only sell 18 packs. But there's another gas station that's only 1 block farther where they sell 15 packs. So I could start by going down to a 15 pack on Friday and a 15 pack on Saturday instead of an 18 pack on Friday and 18 pack on Saturday. And then the following week, 12 and 12. And then eventually get to where I just get 6 of the 16-ounce cans. I'm going to do ounce counting. I'm going to be ounce counting. And then the goal is by the end of Lent, 40 days, to just I'm not like trying to totally quit drinking, but I just don't want to drink beer every day. The weekends, Friday and Saturday night, have some beers, but I can't be drinking dang. I've been drinking like 18, 36, 50. I've been drinking like 3 18 packs every weekend, which is like 50. Why can't I math right now? 54? 54 beers every weekend. That's crazy. For a while there, I got down to like, 2 12 packs, and then it slowly increased. So the other problem is I do like 14-hour streams, and I'll run out, and then I go and get more. Seesaw's like, oh God, I've heard this before. Seesaw's been around since the beginning, and she's seen me go up and down, up and down. There was a point where I didn't drink beer or smoke cigarettes for a week, and then I lost my job, and I started drinking and smoking cigarettes again. I was doing good. I went a whole week without smoking cigarettes or drinking beer. But for Lent, we're gonna try to. That's gonna be my goal for Lent. I'm not. Uh, and then fasting. I don't know. I don't know about fasting. That's tough. That's tough, man. Does it count if I do like a 24-hour fast? I think I could do a 24-hour fast. I like food though, you know? What I eat today. I ate 2 fish tacos and some broccoli and cheese for breakfast, or just now. I just ate 2 fish tacos and broccoli and cheese. And then last night for lunch, I ate uh a bowl of chicken salad with 2 hard-boiled eggs in it. 24-hour fast counts. Where did your job go? I was a handyman, and it's not. I was a handyman working with a guy, basically like under the table. Um, or I don't know, under the table. He was gonna 1099 me, but he never did. But just doing handyman work with this guy, and it slowed up, and he just wasn't calling me for work. And I was like, "Hey, dude, like I'm having to dip into my savings and my stocks and my Bitcoin to pay my rent because there's no what's up with the work." He's like, "I don't know, man. You might need to find something else." And I was like, "I wish you would have like given me a little bit of warning." Isn't that funny how we're expected as employees to give a 2 weeks notice, but nobody's giving you a 2 week notice that they fire you. I didn't even get fired, but he didn't give me any sort of warning that like stuff was slowing down. It just slowed down, and then I'm like, don't work for a whole week, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I need to get a certain number of hours, or I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. Just wait, just wait, just wait. Week later, still no work, bruh. Rent's coming up. I ain't got no money. What am I gonna do? And so then I had to go into my savings and my Bitcoin and my stocks, and I lost a ton of money on Bitcoin. I was so pissed because I sold all my Bitcoin to pay my rent that month, and it was when Bitcoin had crashed and it was down to like it was at like 24 grand, and I ended up losing like 2 grand because I sold my Bitcoin at a loss because I bought it at like 60K. It dropped down to like 30K. I had to sell it all to pay my rent. Then the next week, it skyrockets up to like 120K. I was so mad. I was like, wow. Wow. I could have gained 2 grand. Instead, I lost 2 grand. I was not happy. But anyway, um, now the money's not a problem. Now the reason uh, I don't know. Now I don't have a reason to drink so much beer. So the main reason I know I got to cut back is because I'm getting fat. I can see it. I got a big old belly. We got to look smacks. I'm trying to mog. I'm trying to get lean. I got a mog. Got to get lean. That's the first step. Get lean. Probably should be the next goal. You can get an acre for under 15K. What am I do with an acre? Put a tent on it? I'm gonna sleep on a tent on my acre. That would be pretty cool though, to build like a hut. Build a little hut. Put one of those shipping crates on it or get a van, buy an acre and just live in my van and then get a storage crate and make a tiny house. Yeah, that sounds cool, but you know how big an acre is. I know how big an acre is, but what good does all that land do if you ain't got a house on it? Mog. What is Mog? You don't know what Mogging is? Oh man. You're not hip. You're not up on the Mogging. It means stunting. It's not huge, but it's not the size of a trailer lot. Oh, okay, but my point is, what I'm gonna do with a piece of grass? I ain't got a house. Get a camper? You build the house you want. I'm just gonna start building a house. Yeah, 10 years from now, I'll have a house on my acre. Until then, I'm sleeping in a tent. I already got out of the tent. I'm not trying to go back into a tent. I'm gonna be sleeping in my bivy sack. We're not 20 anymore. I feel so old. You can maintain that youth. You just got to learn words like mog, looks maxing, jester, skibbity toilet. What do they say? Skibbity something. I don't even know what that means. All right. Anyway, enough of that. But I started yesterday. So far, I'm 24 hours successful, 50% reduction on my daily beer intake. I don't want to I don't know. You got to drink I got to drink carbonated water cuz what happens is you crave carbonation or else my stomach is like cuz it's used to having that carbonation. So I drink carbonated water. Carbonated water. Anyway, we're on chapter 39, the Babylonian captivity foretold. Bowie, Bowie, you need to get around more tradesmen. Listen, I already know how to build a house, okay? All right. That's not the point. It's not about ability. It's about manility. It's about cashility. Okay? You want me to build a house? I'm going to need to see more super chats. But this is not the grift stream, okay? This is Bible stream. We'll grift tomorrow night, tomorrow morning. I'm drinking a sparkling water right now. Nice. Nice. I used to hate sparkling water, but now I like it. I can't even finish drinking this. I'm just thinking about taking a sip. I'm gagging a little bit because I ate too much. And this is pure protein and creatine and milk. Yeah, I don't think I can finish this. I can't let it go to waste, though. This stuff's expensive. Ah. It's not nasty. It's just thick. Ugh. That's like 90 grams of protein and like 50 grams of creatine. Get those power tool sponsors. Yeah, I'm sure the power tool sponsors would love to sponsor a guy that talks about uh, politics and philosophy. That's definitely where the power tools, they definitely want to sponsor a channel like that. What? Put in the freezer and drink it in a few hours. If I put in the freezer, it's gonna be a popsicle in a few hours. You mean the refrigerator? I might do that. Probably do that. I'll probably put it in the fridge and then drink it when I wake up. I just want water right now. I need water. Okay. Let's read. Shall we? 1 chapter 39. So we just read all about Hezekiah. It's funny. I saw the name Hezekiah. I told the whole story about Hezekiah. And then we proceeded to read the story about Hezekiah. I didn't know that it was going to go through the story again in Isaiah, because the story is in Kings and Chronicles. I guess I did know. I just forgot that it was in Isaiah too, because I've read Isaiah. But anyway, chapter 39. Did I say everything I wanted to say? Ash Wednesday, Lent, Auntie in the news. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to. That's the housekeeping. Give the Hodge twins a couple weeks. They'll have a power tool line. Are they making a power tool line? Anyway, chapter 39. At that time, Merodach Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that he had been sick. Oh, we read this yesterday. We're on chapter 40. I'm going to have to fix the title. I need to do it right now, or I'm going to forget later. We read 39 yesterday because it's the end of the Hezekiah story. This is when chapter 39 is when Hezekiah shows his stuff off to the Babylonians. And then Isaiah's like, God says that he's going to take everything that you have, and your kids are going to be enslaved and turned into eunuchs. And Hezekiah's like, well, thank you, God. I deserve it. That is what he says. Then Hezekiah to Isaiah. Then said Hezekiah to Isaiah, good is the word of the Lord which thou hast spoken. Isaiah just told him, you're going to lose all the treasure you have, all your gold, all your silver, your house, your castle, your kingdom, your people, and your sons are going to be enslaved and turned into eunuchs. And Hezekiah responds, good is the word of the Lord which thou hast spoken, for there shall be peace and truth in my days. Okay, so we're on chapter 40. 1 second. Edit. Isaiah 40. Okay. All right. Comfort ye, comfort ye. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. For she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. Isn't that interesting? Israel receives double the punishment for the sin that they commit. Job received double the reward for being righteous for what he had lost. That's the thing I keep saying, and I've never heard anybody talking about the blessing. Everybody wants to talk about curses. Everybody wants to talk about the the sins of the father, an original sin. They never want to talk about the blessings of the father or the original blessings. That's a thing. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye. Sorry, my brain just froze. Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. The voice said, Cry. And he said, Why shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth. Flesh is grass, the grass withereth, the flower fadeth. Because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. O Zion, that bringest good tidings, get thee up into the high mountain. O Jerusalem, that bringest good tidings, lift up thy voice with strength. Lift it up, be not afraid. Say unto the cities of Judah, Behold your God. Behold, the Lord God will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. Who hath measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance? Who hath directed the Spirit of the Lord, or being his counselor hath taught him? With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding? Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and vanity. To whom then will ye liken God? Or what likeness will ye compare unto him? To whom will you liken God? Meaning, who can you compare to God? It's implying here that nobody is comparable to God. The workman melteth a graven image, and the goldsmith spreadeth it over with gold, and casteth silver chains. He that is so impoverished that he hath no oblation chooseth a tree that will not rot. He seeketh unto him a cunning workman to prepare a graven image that shall not be moved. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Hath it not been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. I have this highlighted because I've argued. Well, it's been years. I don't like doing it anymore. But I used to argue a lot with flat earthers on Facebook and in my YouTube chat when I first started. I lost a lot of viewers because I had a bunch of flat earthers in my chat at one point, and they didn't like that I called them all idiots. But they would always point to this verse, Isaiah 40:22. They'll say, well, Isaiah 40:22 says God sits on the circle of the earth. A globe is a sphere. It's not a circle. Earth is a circle, not a sphere. And I'd say, okay, so you take that literally. That means that the earth is flat and it's a circle. So are the people on earth grasshoppers? And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean are the people on the earth grasshoppers? Oh, so you don't even know what Isaiah 40:22 says. You just heard from a flat earther that it says that the earth is a circle in Isaiah 22. You didn't actually read the verse because the very next line says that people are grasshoppers. So if you're going to take that part literally, you need to take the next part literally. You think people are grasshoppers. Anyway, sorry. This verse triggers me because of flat earthers, which is an atheist psyop, by the way, to make Christians look stupid. Just so you know. It's funny. Eric Dubé would do conferences. Eric Dubé wrote a book basically, quote unquote, debunking Jesus. It's a book about how Jesus is fake. Eric Dubé is an atheist. David Weiss is an atheist. There's two other big ones. I call them the four horsemen of the flat earth atheist apocalypse. They're four flat earthers. They're all atheists. They hold conferences, and 80% of the people that come to these conferences are Christians because they think the Bible says that the earth is flat. So they go to these flat earth conferences and they watch all these atheists teach them about flat earth using the Bible as a reference because it's a trick, it's a psyop to make Christians look like fools. So when Christians are like, well, the Bible says the earth is flat, I'm like, dude, you fell for the psyop. You fell for the psyop. Dumb. You're making us look stupid. It really annoys me. I love Bryce Mitchell, but he does that. He'd be like, well, the Bible says that the earth is flat. I'm like, oh my God, Bryce, you're making us look like idiots. Okay, shut up, Marilyn. Okay. That bringeth the princes to nothing. He maketh the judges of the earth as vanity. Actually, I'm okay with Marilyn thinking the earth is flat because she's not a Christian. So if people want to believe it's flat and they want to be dumb, that's fine. But don't say that it's a biblical thing. That's what annoys me. Okay. Yea, they shall not be planted. Yea, they shall not be sown. Yea, their stock shall not take root in the earth. And he shall also blow upon them, and they shall wither, and the whirlwind shall take them away as stubble. To whom then will ye liken me, or shall I be equal, saith the Holy One? Meaning nobody is equal to God. You can't even compare a man to God. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who hath created these things that bringeth out their host by number? He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power, not one faileth. Why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speakest, O Israel? My way is hid from the Lord, and my judgment is passed over from my God. Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Based. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That verse go hard. I like that. Chapter 41. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and has driven stubble to his bow. He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first, and with the last, I am he. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near, and came. They helped every one his neighbor, and every one said to his brother, Be of good courage. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with the hammer, him that smote with the anvil, saying, It is ready for the soldering. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. Fastened it with nails. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Well, the Bible calls us his friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, and Jesus is the right hand of God. How would we know their interpretation is correct? I don't know what you're talking about. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt see. I don't know who they is. How would we know that their interpretation is correct? Who is there? Who's they? How will we know that whose interpretation is correct? I mean, I would know if their interpretation is correct because I study myself approved. Study yourself approved. Let no man teach you. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them. Even them that contended with thee, they that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. The atheist telling, oh, yeah. That's who I thought you were talking about, but I wasn't sure. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it. The heck was that? Something just hit my window. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them, and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. Behold, ye are of nothing. What is hitting my window? Oh, you know what it is? It's the wind blowing that tree branch. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come from the rising of the sun. Uh, and he shall come from the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. Only I can find if I'm incorrect. You can't do anything. You've never done anything. We've never done anything. Only God, in order to know anything, you're going to have to appeal to an authority. The question is your authority a man or is your authority God? Who have declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say he is righteous? Yea, there is none that showeth. Yea, there is none that declareth. Yea, there is none that heareth your words. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them, and I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. By the way, never mind. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them, and I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. That's a prophecy of Jesus. For I beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counselor that, when I asked of them, could answer a word. Behold, they are all vanity. Their works are nothing. Their molten images are wind and confusion. This is talking about Israel, God's chosen people, by the way. Behold, my servant, this is chapter 42. Behold, my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail nor be discouraged, till he have set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law. Thus saith God, the Lord, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth, and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth bread unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. I'm pretty sure this is all referencing Jesus coming. This is Jesus coming foretold. Obviously. And interestingly here, I wish Chris Terry was here. Maybe he's lurking, and if I say his name, he'll pop up. But even in the Old Testament, Jesus is going to come to be a light for the Gentiles. So he's not just for the Jews. So Chris Terry will ignore all of the New Testament verses that say that. And he loves to go to Isaiah. Would he skip over that verse? To open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. Actually, I'm going to actually highlight all of that because that's a really strong prophecy. And it mentions the elect. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. To open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. I wonder if that's talking about the covenants. I think so. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth. Ye that go down to the sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. Let the wilderness and the cities thereof lift up their voice. The villages that Kedar doth inhabit, let the inhabitants of the rocks sing. Let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give glory unto the Lord and declare his praise in the islands. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. That verse go hard. I like this chapter. This whole chapter is good. 42. The whole book is good. The whole Bible is good, but this chapter go hard. I have long time holden my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and dry up all their herbs. I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. And I will bring the blind by a way that they know not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. They shall be turned back, they shall be greatly ashamed, that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, Ye are our gods. Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, Restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? Woo-hoo-hoo. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. But now thus saith, chapter 43, but now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by name, thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee, and people for thy life. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east, and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, Give up, and to the south, Keep not back. Bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Even every one that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say, It is truth. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am God. Yea, before the day was, I am he. And there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Thus saith the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to Babylon, and have brought down all their nobles, and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships. I am the Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters, which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise, they are extinct, they are quenched as tow. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Take no thought of tomorrow. Remember not the former things, nor consider things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. But thou hast not called upon me, O Jacob, but thou hast been weary of me, O Israel. Thou hast not brought me the small cattle of thy burnt offerings, neither hast thou honored me with thy sacrifices. I have not caused thee to serve with an offering, nor wearied thee with incense. Thou hast brought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins, thou hast wearied me with thine iniquities. I, even I, am he that blotteth out the transgressions for mine own sake, and will not remember thy sins. Put me in remembrance, let us plead together. Declare thou that thou mayest be justified. Thy first father hath sinned, and thy teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore have I profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to reproaches. So, never mind. I'm not even going to start on that. That's a whole. Not even going to explain what I'm thinking right now. I'll be right back. I gotta get some more water and put this in the fridge. Be 2 seconds. Oh. Oh no. This is a problem. So I did 30 minutes of cardio today. Usually I just do like 10 or 15. Oh, but I did 30 today. Sam Sulek said you should do 30 minutes. And if it gets boring on one thing, switch it up. And so I did 10 minutes on the bike, 20 minutes on the treadmill. The 10 minutes on the bike, I never do the bike. And I don't ride bikes. You know, I used to ride a bike all the time, but now I don't really ride a bike anymore. So I did 10 minutes on the bike going pretty hard. And my thighs were on fire. And now after I sat down for a little while, I just stood up and walked to the kitchen. and my legs are like jello right now. That means tonight it's going to be even worse. And tomorrow's leg day. If my legs are all dead tomorrow because of that bike, it's going to be a problem. Ugh. I don't know. I might just do something different tomorrow. Might skip leg day because of the bike. Chapter 44. We still have to walk through the fire, but God won't let us burn. Based. I just heard a loud boom outside. Anyway. We're on chapter 44. All right. The Lord is the only God, and the folly of idolatry. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. That's a good verse for the people who are like, oh, the Bible doesn't say anything about abortion or life begins at first breath. It says so in the Bible. Oh, I don't know. As far as I know, it says that he knew us in our mother's womb. Joseph danced in the womb when Jesus was born, or when why did Joseph dance in the womb? Or John that was John the Baptist, right? That danced in his mother's womb. Um, Also, Jacob and Esau would fight in the mom's womb, and the angel said there are two nations fighting in your womb, because she's like, ugh, why are they always kicking, and why is it like they're always moving around in there? What is going on? And he said, there's two nations warring in your womb, and from the moment, and that's actually another prophecy that I've used in certain debates. I don't want to bring up that topic, but a certain debate that I do a lot, I've mentioned Jacob and Esau um, fighting in the womb, and how he said the younger will serve, or the older will serve the younger, which means that before they were born, it was told what order they would come out. And then they came out in that order. And then Jacob was hanging on to Esau's heel, which is how he gets the name Jacob, which means, or that's where we get the term heel catcher. A heel catcher comes from Jacob hanging on to Esau's heel when he comes out, and it basically means swindler or trickster. So then Israel is the swindler or the trickster. And then we see he steals his brother's birthright. And even today, we see Israel the heel catcher. Currently, Israel is catching on the heel of America. And we may end up serving the older may end up serving the younger. Crazy, huh? I'm predestined. So what? Chosen and predestined. Based. So you mean you're just a robot? Yeah. I'm a robot, and I got a sticker on me that says made in heaven, made by God. I'm a robot for God. I'm a puppet for God. That's right. Somebody in that chat after that debate was like, I wish I could be on those panels, but I have to go to work after those debates. But Somebody in the chat said, could it would it affect somebody's life to not believe in free will? And all the guys on the panel are like, yeah, it would make you become a nihilist and you would look at everything would be negative and pointless and it could lead you to off yourself and blah blah blah. No, no, no. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. Once you realize that you're not in control and that you have no power, it's the most freeing thing. And you realize you can't change yourself, only God can, and you start to rely on Him instead of relying on yourself. There is no self. I'm just a robot. I'm just a robot. Everything I do, God made me to do. Even when I screw up, even when I do wrong. And they'll say, well, so wait, you think God made you to do the wrong thing? Well, God made David. David's a man after his own heart. Was David perfect? I would say yes. He was perfectly imperfect. I was made perfectly imperfect. And every mistake I've ever made wasn't really a mistake. It was a necessary step in my life to learn a lesson from and to eventually help other people with. If there's never been a plank in my eye, how could I remove the plank and help my brother remove his plank? Most powerful thing we can do is trust Him in everything. Facts. The best thing you can ever do for your life is to realize you have no power. You're not in control of anything. Only God is in control, and submit to His will. Serve your Father's will. It's the best thing anybody could do. Okay. From the womb, where was I? For I will pour water on him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourses. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. I think I wrote that down as an Old Testament Trinity affirming verse, or at least, well, I don't want to get all into that about the Jews in the Old Testament. They believed in a more of a duality rather than a trinity. So they would say that a lot of old school Jews, Old Testament Jews from the Tanakh and the Talmud, or not the Talmud, the Torah and the Tanakh, when you read it, it seems to point more towards, you can find a lot of stuff that supports the Father and the Son being one, like right here, because it says, thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. So this is two. But then it says, I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. So two there saying, I am God. The Lord of hosts and the Lord, the King of Israel. And the hosts is like the angels. So like the angel of the Lord and the Lord, God, are God. Two in one. So that gets to the old Jewish idea of the dual persons. But then eventually, I don't know, it becomes three. I don't know. I don't know the history of all the councils and stuff enough to speak on that. I just know that there's a lot of old school Jews that will say that they might not agree to a trinity, but they would agree uh to the Father and the Son. And then they would say the Holy Spirit is just the Spirit of God that dwells in both of them, but it's not a third person. I'm not saying I believe this or I'm just saying I've heard about that from some Jews. Now they would say Jesus is not the true Messiah or the Son of God, but they would say that there is two in heaven who are one, the Father and the Son. Hold up, Abe. And who, as I, shall call and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God beside me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. He's not saying there's no God. He's saying there's no God besides him. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not nor know, that they may be ashamed. Who hath formed a god or a molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen they are of men. Let them all be gathered together, let them stand up, yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. The smith with the tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashion it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretcheth out his rule, he marketh it out with a line. He fitteth it with planes, and he marketh it out with the compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. This is a people will take this. I think they point to this, and then there's also a verse in Jeremiah 10 something, I think. There's this verse in Isaiah, and there's another verse in Jeremiah that the pagans always bring up at Christmas time. They'll say, your Bible tells you not to have a Christmas tree. Because they'll usually point to Jeremiah, but it's the same thing here in Isaiah. This is not talking about a Christmas tree, okay? He heweth him down cedars, and taketh cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worshipeth it. He maketh it a graven image, and falleth down thereto. He burneth part thereof in the fire, with part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself, and saith, Aha, I am warm, I have seen fire. Aha, I am warm, I have seen fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it, and worshipeth it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. Lowercase g. All these are lowercase g's, by the way. They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes that they cannot see. He has shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. And none considereth in his heart, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire. Yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it. And shall I make the residue thereof an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? He feedeth on ashes. A deceived heart hath turned him aside, that he cannot deliver his soul, nor say, is there not a lie in my right hand? Remember these, O Jacob and Israel. So that's interesting. Is there not a lie in my right hand? So when he's like, the image there is somebody holding a idol that they made in their right hand, and that what they're holding is a lie. But then the parallel, or not the parallel, but the converse of that is God's right hand being Christ, which is the truth. So God's right hand is Christ, which is the truth. The pagan idol worshiper's right hand is an idol, which is a lie. That's deep. Oh, there he is. Hey, Chris Terry, what do you think about Isaiah 42:6? I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light to the Gentiles. That's Old Testament prophecy of Jesus being a light to the Gentiles. Now, leading up to that, it says he's also going to save Israel, but he's also going to be a light to the Gentiles, not just Israel. So it's not just the New Testament when Jesus says, there is no more Jew, there is no more Gentile, there is no more man, there is no more woman. It's also in the Old Testament here in Isaiah. And I know you like Isaiah, so what do you think of that? Assuming, even if you are the real Jew, there's nothing that says that the Gentile can't be adopted into the family of Christ and get into heaven. But that's what you believe. That's because you're blind and cannot see. You've been given over to a reprobate mind. Anyway, all the people who don't know who Chris Terry is in chat are like, why is JS attacking this guy that just entered the chat? Call it quits. If you quit, you lose. I never quit. Well, I've had to quit some things. Well, I'm never going to quit reading the Bible. I may quit reading it on stream once we finish it. And then I'm going to have to figure out what else to do in the mornings. We're going to have to start doing a daily show. But that's not going to happen for a while because we still got a good chunk to go. Now, where was I? Oh, in the right hand. Okay. Verse 21. This is chapter 44:21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. Ooh. Israel is a servant. I have formed thee. Thou art my servant. O Israel, thou shalt not be forgotten of me. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins returned unto me, for I have redeemed thee. Sing, O ye heavens, for the Lord hath done it. Shout, ye lower parts of the earth. Break forth into singing, ye mountains, O forests, and every tree therein. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and glorified himself in Israel. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. Formed thee from the womb. Not from the first breath, from the womb. For all the baby killers out there. For all the Christians who support abortion. That's an oxymoron. That's ridiculous. This is not a political show, but Chris Talrico, he's running for government. There's a whole big controversy right now. He did an interview on Colbert. Colbert said Trump's FCC wouldn't let CBS air the interview but it was a lie. CBS put out a thing saying, no, we did not do this. And then even Jasmine Crock of Jasmine Crock, I don't want to say that, but even she had to come out and was like, yeah, that's fake news. Because all the lefties were like, Trump is stifling free speech. They're like, no, that's not what happened. Anyway. Look up the word for adoption in the New Testament, please, and read it out loud so everyone can hear. Nah. Wait till I get to the New Testament and then ask me to do that. Because I have a feeling, you know what? Just to I'll entertain this for a second. I'm gonna get my Strongs out. We're not gonna go to the internet for this. We're gonna get this thing. This is called a book, Chris Terry. This is a big book. Okay. Adoption. Adami accuseth, acknowledge, activity. My pages are sticking. Adoption. 5206. That word is only used in the New Testament. So you didn't have to specify in the New Testament. 5206. Somebody remember that. Write it in chat. 5206 in case I forget. It's in Romans 8:15, Romans 8:25, Romans 9:4, Galatians 4:5, and Ephesians 1:5. 5206 in the Greek. So let's go to the Greek section. And let's go 5206. I don't think Chris understands how this is gonna go for him. 5203, 5204, 5207. You want me to read all of this? Okay. Huiothesia. Or wait. Huiothesia. From a presumed compound of 5207 and a derivative of 5087, the placing as a son, adoption, sonship in respect to God, adoption of children, adoption of sons. Huiothesia, a son, and thesis, a placing akin to tithemi, to place, signifies the place and condition of a son given to one to whom it does not naturally belong. The word is used by the Apostle Paul only in Romans 8:15. Believers are said to have received the spirit of adoption, that is, the Holy Spirit, who, given as the first fruits of all that is to be theirs, produces in them the realization of sonship and the attitude belonging to sons. In Galatians 4:5, they are said to receive the adoption of sons, i.e., sonship bestowed in distinction from a relationship consequent merely upon birth. Here, two contrasts are presented. 4a, between the sonship of the believer and unoriginated sonship of Christ. 4b, between the freedom enjoyed by the believer in bondage, whether of Gentile, natural condition, or of Israel under the law. In Ephesians 1:5, they are said to have been foreordained unto adoption as sons through Jesus Christ, adoption of children. God does adopt believers as children, and they are begotten as such by his Holy Spirit through faith. 6, adoption is a term involving the the dignity of the relationship of believers as sons. It is not a putting into the family by spiritual birth, but a putting into the position of sons. In Romans 8:23, the adoption of the believer is set forth as still future, as it there includes the redemption of the body, when the living will be changed and those who have fallen asleep will be raised. In Romans 9:4, adoption is spoken of as belonging to Israel in accordance with the statement in Exodus 4:12, Israel is my son. Israel was brought into special relationship with God, a collective relationship not enjoyed by other nations. See uh, uh, TDNT, I forget what that means. Oh, these are commentaries by theologians, but 8397-1206, BAGD 833b, Thayer 634c. So, was that good? Was that good enough for you? Why won't you read from the blue letter? You mean an interlinear Bible? An interlinear Bible only shows you the word and then the word, what it means. So what the interlinear is going to say is huiothesia, which is the Greek word for adoption. So then you have to go to a concordance. That's what this is called. And then you have to see, and usually the interlinear, what you call the blue letter Bible, which is the interlinear Bible, is going to refer you to a Strong's Concordance passage, which is going to explain what I just read to you. I just have the physical book. Just because I didn't pull it up on Google doesn't mean that I didn't just adequately read what adoption means in Greek. That's what this is. I know these things are confusing. You asked me to look up the word for adoption in the New Testament. It's it's hard to say that. Huiothesia is the word. And I just looked it up and I just read you what it means in reference to each passage that it's used, every passage that it's used. So shut up. I don't know why you challenge me like that. No, it said sonship is for Israel. It said adoption is for the Gentiles. The Gentiles are not naturally sons. They're adopted into the house, whereas Israel are through the law, are the sons of God. And then the Gentiles are adopted into the family as sons of God. Sonship is the thing that's only for what it said. I know you probably couldn't follow that. There was a lot of big words in there. What it said was, this is not referring, adoption does not refer to Israel. Israel doesn't need to be adopted. Adoption is for the Gentiles. Israel that's what I just read. Repeat the part about it only being for Israel. That's the opposite of what I just read. This guy's a moron. Oh my gosh. I can't do it. I'm going to ignore him. Okay. Where was I? Does anybody remember where I was? Did I get to 45? Okay, I'm not that far yet. Oh, I was on the part about the womb. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad. Are you mad, Chris? That turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish, that confirmeth the word of his servant, and performeth the counsel of his messengers, that saith to Jerusalem, Thou shalt be inhabited, and to be cities of Judah, ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof, that saith to the deep, Be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers, that saith of Cyrus, He is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid. That's the first mention of Cyrus. We're going to get more mention of Cyrus. Cyrus is the one, and this is 100 years before this happens. So Isaiah is mentioning Cyrus, who's going to come and redeem Israel from Babylonian captivity. He's about to go deeper into it in chapter 45. 100 years before it happens. Then Cyrus, the story is, this is Jewish lore. This isn't actually scriptural, I don't think. Maybe it mentions it somewhere in Jeremiah or something later. I'm not sure. But if I remember correctly, this is like a Jewish like a traditional story. Is the idea is that Cyrus reads Isaiah's writings as a young man, and he sees his name in there, and he sees that it says Cyrus is going to free Israel from Babylon, and he reads it, and he's like, this must be talking about me. I'm going to go save Israel from Babylon. And then he does it. So it's like, now you get to like a Matrix question. Well, actually, you get to a pointless possible worlds free will question, which is just philosophical, mind games that we're playing here. It really doesn't matter because it happened the way it was meant to happen and the only way it could happen. But you have to wonder to yourself, like the Matrix, when she says, "Don't worry about the pot," and he turns around and knocks the pot over. And he's like, how did you know I was going to do that? And she's like, what's really going to mess up your mind later is, would you have still done it if I hadn't have said anything? So if Cyrus had not read the writings of Isaiah, would he have still gone and freed Israel? That's a brain bender for you. But it doesn't really matter, because if that's the way that it happened, then that's the way it happened, and that's the way it was meant to happen. But that's the story, is that Isaiah makes this prophecy of a guy named Cyrus freeing Israel in 100 years from Babylonian captivity, before Israel is even in Babylonian captivity. He says, the Babylonians are going to come. They're going to capture you. Hezekiah, your kids are going to be made eunuchs. And then all this stuff happens. And then he says a guy named Cyrus is going to come along in 100 years, and he's going to free them from the Babylonian captivity. 100 years later, a guy named Cyrus is reading these scrolls, and he sees his name in it, and he's like, that must be me. And he goes and does it. If he had not seen the scroll, would he have still done it? If she hadn't have said anything, would Neo still have broken the pot? Dun, dun, dun. Now that's deep. That's deep. Okay. Actually, I want to highlight that because that's the first mention of Cyrus. Chapter 45. And we're going to get and we're about to get into Isaiah 45:7, which is a very contentious verse. Which is, there's one verse taken in context, not cherry picked, but Isaiah 45:7 is the one that makes me question this whole, did God create evil? And I know people will say it's a heresy. Maybe I'm wrong. And so I'll accept that I could be wrong on this. But I can't seem to see it any other way. That God created everything. God created Satan. God created Jeffrey Dahmer. God created everything. God's outside of time, which means not only did he create everything at the beginning, he created everything at the end. He created every second in between, every millisecond in between. God created every atom and knew and mapped out where every atom was going to bounce for every millisecond for the whole history of the earth, for the whole universe. We can't even wrap our minds around this. From that perspective, and taking Isaiah 45:7 into account, I don't understand. I don't know. So if it's a heresy, and just throwing this out there, I don't know for sure, but I don't understand how God did not also create evil. And then I know we had reexamination call in and explain it one day, and I listened and I didn't push back. I just wanted him to speak his piece, but at the end he's like, "Do you get that?" I was like, "Yeah, I get it, but I don't agree with it because it sounded like doing mental gymnastics. It sounded like what I was trying to do to prove that God didn't have free will, even though I believe God does have free will. It sounded like mental gymnastics. It sounded like making up a bunch of terms and words about primary cause and secondary cause and all this other stuff. It's much simpler for me to just say, that God created everything. Does free faith exist or is it contingent? I don't know what that means. I don't know what free faith means. Chapter 45, thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden to subdue nations before him. And I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. I will go before thee. And by the way, Cyrus freeing Israel from Babylon is the near prophecy. He's also a prophecy of Jesus too. Make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of iron. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by name, am the God of Israel. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I have girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. I mean, you can tell me that I'm doing bad exegesis and I'm a heretic and I'm cherry picking and I'm taking it out of context, but that sounds pretty clear to me. I don't really, there's a lot of confusing, stuff in here, but that sounds pretty clear to me. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now tell me how I'm misunderstanding that. Somebody tell me how I'm doing bad eisegesis here. Please, I'd love to hear it. And now more newer translations, more modern translations change the word evil there to calamity. So let me see. Because I'm sure somebody will be like, well, you're reading the Masoretic text. That's why it says that. Read the Septuagint. Okay. I'll read the Septuagint. Let's see. But I don't know the order of the books in the Septuagint, so it's going to take me a second to find it. Where's that? I'll have to go to the. Dude, it's so crazy having to go back to the table of contents. I haven't had to use a table of contents in a Bible since I was in like second grade. I've been able to just open to whatever book, say a book, I'll just flip to it. Now I got to go to the table of contents in the Septuagint. I feel like I'm in second grade again. Isaiah is page 1058. St. John the Forerunner. Okay. Isaiah 45:7. Now, the versification is different in the Septuagint, so hopefully it's the same verse. 45:7. We're doing heuristics. Look at that. Pages are sticking. So Septuagint says, I am he who prepared light and made darkness, who makes peace and creates troublesome things. I am the Lord God who does all these things. So King James says creates evil. Septuagint says creates troublesome things. And if I go get my NIV, my non-inspired version, or my ESV, and I open, it's probably going to say something like calamity. So let me just look real quick. Let's just go to Bible Gateway or Bible Hub. Bible Gateway, ESV. Let's try the ESV. Let's go. Isaiah. I spelled that wrong. 45. So the ESV says create calamity. ESV says calamity. KJV says evil. Septuagint, Orthodox, what's it called? The Lexicon 13, or I forget what they call it, but it says troublesome things. That's a very nice way to put it. It seems a little bit softened, if you ask me, but let's look at the non-inspired version, the NIV. New International Version says disaster. I bring prosperity and create disaster. So we have disaster, calamity, troublesome things. The KJV just says evil. Now, all of these, they're not quite synonymous. Like calamity could be synonymous with evil. Disaster is kind of like morally ambiguous. It's like disaster could be a hurricane. And God does create hurricanes, which would be disaster. So the question here is, what is the Hebrew word that we're looking at? Now, see, for this, I want to use the interlinear because I want to see if I look up evil, which is what this says, it's going to give me the word for evil, but I want to see Interlinear. Isaiah 45:7. Disaster. We care about your privacy. The heck? Consent to sale and sharing of personal data? No. Consent to targeted advertising? I'm going to consent to that just because I'd rather have Bible Gateway targeted advertising than some of the other weird stuff I get. Okay. Kalose Yahweh Ani Ra Ubore Salom Ose Hosek Ubore or Yoser Elah. And that is all do Yahweh I calamity, and create peace. I make darkness and create the light. I form these things. Calamity. And the word here is Ra. And the Strong's Concordance reference is 4751. Bara, Bara'ah, Bera, Bera'ah, Bera'atam, Bera'ataka, Bera'ati, Bera'ato, Haraim, KJV, only evil. The International Version, evil. The New American Standard Version, the heart is evil from his youth. This is Ra. The word Ra, which is used in Isaiah 45:7, is used in Genesis 6:5 to mean evil, Genesis 8:21 to mean evil, Genesis 24:50 to mean bad, Genesis 31:24 bad, Genesis 31:29 harm, hurt, harm, Genesis 31:29 bad, 38:7 evil, wicked, evil, Genesis 41:21 ugly, ill-favored, ugly, evil, 48:16 evil, me from all evil, Leviticus bad, Leviticus 27 bad, Leviticus 27 bad, Numbers 11:1 adversity. So Ra could mean adversity. Numbers 11:1 adversity, Deuteronomy serious, serious, ill. Okay, so this word Ra that's used here, wicked, evil, adversity, bad, calamity, wicked, evil, worse, evil, sore boils. So in Job, when it says Job will be afflicted with sore boils, with sore there is this Hebrew word Ra, with sore boils. Oh, so with sore, so it's almost like an evil sores. That's like the leprosy is not just nasty, they're like wicked sores, evil sores. Evil, wicked. This is interesting. So how can it mean calamity if in Job, so in Job 21:30, it says, of calamity is reserved the wicked, the day of fury. But Ra is not used there for calamity. But that's just in the International Version. That the wicked is reserved to the day. The of calamity is reserved the wicked, the day of the fury. Then evil came in Job, evil, neither shall evil, let the evil, oh, the wickedness, the evil, not evil, that abhorreth not evil. Oh, that abhorreth not evil. You don't abhor evil. So evil, adversity, evil, 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 adversity, 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 wicked, evil, 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 evil. I'm trying to see where this word means calamity. Why did they translate it to calamity? I think I know why. I think I know why. I can't. Ecclesiastes, evil, evil, evil. We're up to Ecclesiastes. Now, when we get to Isaiah, disaster. In Isaiah 31, evil, disaster. 45:7, calamity. King James Version, evil. International Version, calamity. Huh. Dude, I know what's happening here. The word ra is obviously it means evil. It always means evil or wicked or bad. But in this one verse, only in this verse, I'm looking through it right now. Harmful, unpleasant, wicked, evil, 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 evil. Okay. They also do it in Micah, calamity. So there's only 2 verses where they translate this word as calamity in some translations. But even in also 3, so in Habakkuk, calamity. But the KJV still translated as evil. So from the hand of calamity, from the power of evil. Habakkuk 2:9. What is that? Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and the last book, Malachi. It's a tiny book. It's in between. It's right before Zephaniah. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, and that he may deliver from the power of evil. The power of evil. Now, who is this in relation to? Watch my house set me out. And the Lord answered, for the vision is yet appointed to me, but at the end I shall speak. Tarry and wait, because it will surely come. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yet also is transgressed by the wine. A proud man neither keepeth a home. All these take up parable against him and taunt a proverb against him. Woe to him that increaseth that which is his. How long shall not he rise up, and suddenly shall bite thee, and awake shall vex thee? Shall be booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. A remnant people shall spoil thee because of man's blood, and for the violence of the land and the city that dwell there. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. So, anyway, the point that I'm making here, let me just do one thing real quick last. What's the strong reference here? 17:10. 7451. 667 occurrences. And it almost always means evil. That's so funny. Dude, I know what they're doing. I know why some translations don't translate it as evil. Why do you think they would do that? Why would some more modern, newer translations translate it as troublesome or disaster or calamity? Why do you think they would do that? Anybody have class? Does anybody? No, I'm not a teacher. I'm just kidding. But why do you guys think they would do something like that? Can you think of a reason why? Because I can. Yeah, the non-inspired version. I don't think you can choose to have faith either. You have it as a gift from God or you don't. Facts. God can create evil because he does whatever he wants. Yeah, well, a lot of people would say that that's a heresy, see, Sal. A lot of people would say that this verse in Isaiah is a heresy. But a lot of those people have never picked up a Bible in their lives. They don't even think that we should be reading the Bible. So 7451. But even the Bible thumpers will disagree with what I'm saying right now. Even the Bible thumpers will say I'm wrong about what I'm saying right now. Even though I'm going through the Hebrew, I'm going to multiple translations, I'm doing heuristics, I'm looking in the concordance, I'm comparing multiple different translations. I'm looking at every verse in the Bible where this Hebrew word is used, and it always means evil. So then when I say God creates evil and I get called a heretic, whether it's from Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, Bible thumpers, non Bible thumpers, it blows my mind. Am I crazy? 7451. Wonder if this is going to be Ra, from bad or evil, wickedness, wicked, mischief, hurt, bad, trouble, sore, affliction, adversity, favored, harm, not, noisome, grievous, sad, calamity, displeasure, distress, grief, heavy, hurtful, misery, not pleased, sorrow, vex, worse, wretchedness, wrong. This word combines together in one the wicked deed and its consequences. It generally indicates the rough exterior of wrongdoing as a breach of harmony and as breaking up of what is good and desirable in man and in society. While the prominent characteristic of the godly is loving kindness, one of the most marked features of the ungodly man is that his course is an injury both to himself and to everyone around him. Ra refers to that which is bad or evil in a wide variety of applications. A greater number of the word's occurrences signify something morally evil or hurtful, often referring to man or women. Ra is the Hebrew word here. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create Ra. I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So I don't care who calls me a heretic. I don't care what sort of philosophical backflips you do, what sort of theological gobbledygook you spew. That's what I go off of. There is no interpretation. I've studied, myself approved on this. I've looked into it. And this isn't the first time I've done this, by the way. I've known about this for years, for decades. But now I've done it on stream. So when people call me a heretic for saying God creates evil, I'm going to tell them, I don't care what you say. I don't care. Okay? This is my first rodeo. Maybe I don't have, you know, never mind. Maybe I don't have a title. Maybe I don't have a degree. But I've been doing this for 30 years. So come on. Come on. It's biblical. And it's obvious, by the way, also. Like you have to really do some crazy tricks with your mind to get away from that. You have to say things like, well, evil is the privation of good, and it's like darkness is the privation of light. It's like, what are you talking about? Why why are you making this more complicated than it has to be? If you say God created evil, then you make God evil, and you just changed his nature. It's not in his nature. And by nature, I mean this philosophical concept of his essences and his ontology with his hypostasis and his uh, dude, it's very simple. If an author writes a story and something bad happens in the story, that doesn't make the author bad. It's not complicated. Satan is the author of confusion. God's ways are simple. Okay. And they'll be like, well, you just contradicted yourself because actually God's the author of Satan and therefore God's the author of confusion. Dude, stop twisting your brain up. It's not that complicated. You're thinking too hard. Your thoughts are lies. You need to put on the helmet to protect you from those fiery darts. You're being deceived by your mind. It's playing tricks on you. We need to be dumbed down a little bit sometimes, I think. People get too intellectual about things. Drop down, ye heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open and let them bring forth salvation, and let righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created it. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherds strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it, what makest thou, or thy work? He hath no hands. Woe unto him that saith unto his father, what begettest thou? Or to the woman, what hast thou brought forth? Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, and his Maker. Ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands. Command ye me. I have made the earth, and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their host I have commanded. I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. And I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives, not for price nor reward, saith the Lord of hosts. We're still talking about Cyrus. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt, and merchandise of Ethiopia, and of the Sabeans, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. Verily, thou art a God that hidest thou thyself, O God of Israel, the Savior. They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. For thus saith the Lord God that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek me in vain. Seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Assemble yourselves and come, draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save. Tell ye, and bring them near. Yea, let them take counsel together who have declared this from ancient time, who have told it from that time. Have not I the Lord? And there is no God else beside me. a just God and a Savior. There is none beside me. Look unto me, and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am God, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return. That unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say, in the Lord have I righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. All right. Sinfoil hat. Does light cause shadows? No. No, the cause of the shadow is the object that's blocking it. I already know what point you're trying to make, and it's not a good point, because what causes the object that is blocking the light? The creator of the light and the creator of the object. What is that? And the creator of the darkness. It's so funny when you guys use that analogy. Did God create only light? Did God only create light? You would say darkness is a privation of light, meaning darkness has no essence, but light has essence or ontology or being. Um, who created the darkness? I'll give you a hint. It's on the first page of the Bible. God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. The darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So God created, and it's right there. I form the light and create darkness. God created the earth and the darkness that was on it. And God created the light. God separates the light and the darkness, which he created both of, and they're both good. He saw that they're both good. Even the darkness is good because God created it. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Here we go. So they just ignored everything I just said. Y'all are just... Darkness is the absence of light. Beastie Boys. Oh, he's quoting a song. And through the grace of God, you can be the light in the darkness. True. This is true. But if God didn't create evil, then we would have no idea what evil is. How would we know a straight line if we had never seen a curved line? I thought the light couldn't create darkness. Light doesn't create dark. Light doesn't create. Light is an an energy that comes from light making things like the sun. Are you talking about a metaphysical light? Are you trying to say God is the light? That's a bad analogy. I'm not going to explain this anymore. I've already done it for the last hour. I'm not going to keep going on this. Just go uh, look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go do your own. Study yourself approved. Let no man teach you. I'm not your teacher. I'm not your preacher. I just explained it for like an hour. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. We just went through literally the interlinear, the Strong's Concordance, the NIV, the ESV, the Septuagint, the Masoretic, every translation of the word. I just went through 667 occurrences of it. I just scrolled through 667 occurrences of the word Ra, which is the Hebrew word that's used here, and in context. And I've referenced other places in the Bible. The only other thing I could do is go read you what the church fathers say, and it's going to be the opposite of what I'm saying. So you can pick if you want to, don't listen to me. If you want to listen to them, go listen to them. That's fine. Where was I? I'm 46. It's 12:30. I think I'm going to stop. I didn't get through 10 because we spent so much time on that. But we got through 8 chapters. Technically, no, we only got through. Oh, we're about to get into some good stuff. A lot of prophecy coming up in 48. And 47 is pretty lit too. I'm going to read 46 real quick, though, because it's short. And just because I want to. We started at 40, so. That would only be 5 chapters. I want to at least get 6. So. Bel boweth down, Nebo stoopeth stoopeth their idol. Bel boweth down, Nebo stoopeth. Bel and Nebo are cities or tribes, pagan groups. Bel boweth down, Nebo stoopeth. Their idols were upon the beasts and upon the cattle. Your carriages were heavy loaden. They are a burden to the weary beast. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone into captivity. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. And even to your old age, I am he. And even to whore hairs, not WHORE, it's HOAR. Whore hairs are even to whore hairs will I carry you. I think that means like peach fuzz, like baby hair. It's HOAR, not not the bad word, not the other word. What does that mean? Refers to white or gray hair. Oh, it was the opposite. I was thinking it was baby hair peach fuzz, but no, this makes more sense. Whore hairs are when your hair is gray. Your gray hairs are whore hairs, HOAR hairs. And so he's saying from the time you're in the womb to the time you are old and gray haired, which is what it says right before. It says, even to your old age, I am he, and even to whore hairs will I carry you. I have made you, and I will bear, even I will carry and will deliver you. To whom will ye liken me and make me equal, and compare me, that we may be like? That means, who's God other than me? Maryland. They lavish gold out of the bag, and weigh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith, and he maketh it a god. They fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon the shoulder, they carry him, and set him in his place, and he standeth. From his place shall he not remove. Yea, One shall cry unto him, yet he cannot answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country, yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. I bring near my righteousness. It shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place my salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Domin sapientium et discretionem dona nobis. I don't speak Latin, bro. I'm going to read this again for people from the back. This is also repeated in Ephesians, by the way. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. All right. That's that. We're going to stop. We're on 47. 66 books in Isaiah, so we probably got 2 more streams of Isaiah. I'm pretty excited to get into Jeremiah because I haven't studied Jeremiah a whole lot. I don't even think I've ever read all of Jeremiah. I've never spent a whole lot of time in. We're starting to get into the part of the Bible that I haven't spent a whole lot of time in. Like Malachi, Zechariah, Hosea. I love Daniel. Jonah, I love Jonah. But Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Obadiah, and Ezekiel. I haven't really spent a lot of time studying these, so I'm pretty excited to get into this next chunk. Now, some of these we've done full breakdowns of the whole book on the channel, like Hosea, Jonah, and Daniel. Yeah, the minor prophets. Dude, I had somebody sorry, I got a little heated there. I'm not angry, it's just like it just irritates me when people will call you a heretic. They'll call you an idiot, they'll call you a heretic. And it's like, dude, I've been in this book my whole life. And I can't see it any other way when it's clear as day to me. And then people will say, "You're an idiot. That's stupid. Let me tell you about philosophy." Which I love philosophy too, but sometimes it's just you're just playing mind games now. It's the internet, bruh. I know. Yeah. That's true. What was I just gonna say to Rev? He said, I love the minor prophets. Dude, I had somebody get mad at me for saying minor prophets once. I said that's one of the minor prophets, and he's like, "What do you mean minor prophets? They're all equally prophets." Why do you say minor prophets? You must be a Protestant. That's a stupid Protestant thing to say. I was like, what are you talking about? Minor prophets just means they're smaller books. They're not, yeah. Yeah, some people don't like that, Rev, when you call them the major prophets and the minor prophets. They're thinking it's a value judgment. It's not a value judgment, it's just the size of the books. Like Isaiah and Jeremiah are 60 chapters each. Um, Moses has 5 books, Solomon has 3 books, but then you get to like Habakkuk and it's like 3 pages. Or you get to Zephaniah and it's like a page. That's why it's the minor prophets. It's not a value judgment. It's just there's tiny, they're smaller books. Some people spend too much time giving advice and not enough time taking their own. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, and by the way, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just don't see it any other way. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'll accept that maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. And if it's a heresy, my bad. I just don't see it I can't, maybe I'm too dumb. I don't know. It's based solely on the length of the books, not their importance. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I said that once and somebody got triggered. They thought I was like insulting the quote unquote minor prophets. I was like, no, I'm not saying that he's not important or that they're not important. It's just they're tiny books. Keep it up. Christ was hated first. I'm late to the party. What's the heresy? I just spent like an hour going through Isaiah 45:7. And I went through the interlinear, I went through the Strongs, I went through the Septuagint, the Masoretic, like 6 different translations, 661 passages where the word Ra is used. And it's pretty clear that it says that God created evil. And that's what I spent like an hour talking about. So the good Christians. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting how some Bibles use softer words like calamity or disaster or troublesome, but the King James and what the word means is evil. It says it says the Lord creates evil. It says I the Lord make peace and create evil. But the ESV says calamity. The Septuagint says troublesome times. The NIV says disaster. But the King James says evil. But then if you look at every other use of that Hebrew word, it's used 661 times in the Old Testament. It's the word Ra. And it always means evil or wicked. Almost always. Be goofy at times, but you were more than capable of understanding the Bible. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. It's my favorite topic. It's my favorite thing. I've been reading it my whole life. Since I was old enough to read. I was reading the Bible before I was reading Goosebumps from R.L. Stine. The first big book I ever read was Ender's Game. And then The Hobbit, and then a whole bunch of Stephen King books. But and then I read R.L. Stine books, Goosebump books before that. But before all of that, I was reading the Bible. Probably since I was 6 years old. Or when do you learn to read? I don't know. Since I learned how to read, that's what I was reading. So, but anyway, I'm gonna head out. I'm watching this show while I fall asleep. Trying to find anybody got a recommendation for a good like series or movie to watch because uh I just started watching this show called Hijack with Idris Elba. I've only watched one episode. Pretty good so far, but it's 2 seasons, 8 episodes in each season, so 16 episodes so far about a plane on the way from like Italy to England getting hijacked. How do you make 16 episodes out of a 7-hour flight? That don't even make sense. I don't know how this show is gonna be 16 episodes about one. Why couldn't you make that into a movie? Frasier. Dang, you so old, Cesar. You're showing your age, lady. Don't do that. Don't say Frasier. I ain't watching Frasier. What the? Who's watching Frasier in 2026? That's crazy. I Love Lucy. Maybe I should go watch I Love Lucy. Leave It to Beaver. Dude, my husband and I are binge watching Frasier. Oh my god. I finished Vinland Saga. If you're into fighting style anime based on Christian principles, Vinland Saga. I'm really not big into anime, but that sounds interesting. I'll write it down. I'm not really big on anime. I always said that I don't like anime, I just like Dragon Ball. But that's not totally true because I do like Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha. I watched Pokemon when I was a kid. Uh, Yu Yu Hakusho. I love Yu Yu Hakusho. Spirit finger. What's he say? I used to watch Pokemon and then Sailor Moon before I went to school. When I was a kid, Sailor Moon, that opening song, fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon. That was as a kid, I was like, dang. Gilmore Girls, Vinland Saga. I should write this in my notebook because I'll never find it. I have to put it in my phone, in my notes in my phone. Vinland Saga. Spell check said Finland Saga. And I like Full Metal Alchemist and I like Attack on Titan. So there's a handful of animes that I like. Knowing is half the battle. I'm not watching Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls pushed the single mom being strong BS. I've never watched. Smurfs and Bozo. I did watch Bozo before school too. Dude, I used to get so mad when they played the bucket game. They play the beer pong game for kids where they have to throw the ball into the buckets that get farther and farther. I'd get so mad because nobody would ever win. I was like, come on. It can't be that hard. I want to get on Bozo and win this dang game. Gilmore. I'm not watching Gilmore Girls. You guys are going to be telling me to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer next. If you like fighting, religion, and history, check out Vinland. I do like all of those things. So. The little town with hanging flower pots lining the streets. Yeah. That sounds incredible. Right. Yeah, I was wondering what I could watch to increase my estrogen levels. You know? She's BFFs with her daughter. Oh, and Gilmore Girls? Is that what it's about? It's about a single mom and her daughter? They're hot, though, right? That could be a reason to watch it. Anyway, all right, I gotta go. Gotta go right now. Gotta go. Seesaw did not help me with show advice. Yeah, Dawson's Creek. Ooh, I can't wait to watch Dawson's Creek. I just gotta change my tampon first. Later, Abby. Where you been, by the way? I'm glad you came back. Man, my eyes are falling asleep. Oh, did Seesaw do a membership in this stream? Did I say thank you for that? Thank you for that. She don't like uppity shows like Frasier. I've seen some Frasier stuff before. Third Rock from the Sun. What was the show that Joe Rogan and David Spade were on? Radio. No. What was that show called? That was a pretty funny show. Uneducated Economist. Grid, Mr. Bill, Anka Baby. Zeb Boykin. I'll send you to Zeb. I've never been around. Oh, Lord. I love Frasier. So do black people. Do they? I can't believe that. Oh, that's surprising. That didn't even make sense. I don't think Zeb's going to be streaming for much longer. Anchor Baby's just now starting, so I'll actually send you to him. Scheduled at 11:58. Yeah, he's starting right now, so because Zeb's been streaming since before I started, so he's got to be done soon. He doesn't do like really long shows, so. Anchor Baby. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm gonna go to bed. My eyes are falling asleep. God bless everybody. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll see you tomorrow. It won't be a Bible stream. We'll be playing some Borderlands in the morning and watching some videos and stuff. And then VK tomorrow night.